The ranch has survived storms, heartbreak, loss, and moments that nearly tore the Fleming family apart forever. But nothing, absolutely nothing, has prepared Heartland fans for what season 20 might bring. Right now, the entire fan community is holding its breath because the future of Heartland Ranch has never felt more uncertain than it does at this very moment. Amy is standing at a crossroads that could change the rest of her life. Georgie is facing a painful truth she may not be ready to accept. The ranch itself is under pressure from every direction. And behind all of that is one terrifying question nobody wants to say out loud. What if season 20 is the final chapter of Heartland? Because if the rumors are true, then every single moment in this upcoming season is about to hit harder than ever before. And once you hear what could happen next, you will understand why fans everywhere are already emotional before the season has even begun. Heartland has always been more than just another family drama on television. For nearly 2 decades, this show has become a second home for millions of people around the world. Fans did not just grow attached to the characters, they grew up with them. They watched Amy Fleming transform from a quiet young girl struggling with grief into the emotional heart of an entire family. They watched Grandpa Jack carry the weight of the ranch on his shoulders season after season without ever giving up. They watched Lou chase impossible dreams, Tim create chaos wherever he went, and the entire Bartlett Fleming family somehow survive every challenge life threw at them. That is why season 20 feels different. This is not just another new season. This feels like a moment that could change Heartland forever. What makes the situation even more emotional is the way season 19 ended. The finale did not give fans peace. It gave them questions. Huge questions. Questions that are now hanging over the entire future of the show. The biggest one of all centers around Amy Fleming and Nathan Price. After spending an entire season slowly building trust and connection between them, Nathan finally took the biggest step possible. He got down on one knee and proposed to Amy. And then the season ended before fans ever heard her answer. That single moment changed everything, because now the future of Heartland season 20 depends on one emotional decision. Will Amy finally allow herself to love someone again after losing Ty? Or will fear and grief stop her from moving forward with her life? That is why fans are so emotionally invested right now. Amy's journey after Ty's death has been one of the most heartbreaking stories the show has ever told. For years, viewers watched her struggle through pain that never fully disappeared. She tried to stay strong for Lindy. She tried to keep the ranch together. She tried to move forward even when part of her heart still felt frozen in time. And now, Nathan represents something terrifying for her. Not danger, not betrayal. Hope. Real hope. The possibility of happiness again. But sometimes hope can feel scarier than grief, because saying yes to a new future means accepting that the old one is truly gone forever. Season 20 is expected to dive directly into that emotional conflict. And if Amy says yes to Nathan, the entire direction of the series could change. Suddenly, Amy would be stepping into a brand new chapter of her life. Fans could see her balancing motherhood, ranch responsibilities, and the possibility of marriage all at the same time. But if she says no, things become even more complicated. Because Nathan is not just another relationship. He is someone Lindy has started to care about too. A rejection would not only affect Amy, it would send emotional shockwaves through everyone around her. That kind of emotional tension is exactly what Heartland does best. At the same time, the ranch itself may be entering one of the hardest periods in its history. Season 19 already showed the family struggling financially after major losses connected to cattle rustling and growing pressure on the business. Lou started realizing that Heartland Ranch cannot survive forever on tradition alone. Bills are growing. Problems are growing. And Jack Bartlett continues refusing outside help because protecting the ranch means everything to him. But season 20 may finally push Jack into a situation where pride is no longer enough to save the family legacy. That possibility alone changes the emotional atmosphere of the entire season. Because Heartland Ranch is not just land, it is history. It is memory. It is the place where this family healed after every tragedy they faced. The idea that the ranch itself could be at risk feels almost impossible for longtime fans to accept. Yet all signs point towards season 20 exploring exactly that fear. And if this truly becomes the final season, then the survival of the ranch may become the single most important storyline the show has ever told. But perhaps the biggest emotional storyline waiting in season 20 belongs to Georgie. Her connection with Phoenix has become one of the most powerful relationships in recent Heartland history. Watching them compete together gave fans some of the most inspiring moments in the series. But now the reality of Phoenix getting older is starting to become unavoidable. Georgie knows that someday she may have to let go of the horse that helped define her entire future. And season 20 could finally force her to face that heartbreaking reality head on. The reason this storyline matters so much is because Heartland has always understood something very few shows truly capture. Life moves forward whether people are ready or not. Horses grow older, families change, children become adults. Pain fades slowly while new challenges quietly appear. That feeling has always lived underneath the surface of Heartland, but season 20 feels like the moment when all those emotions finally rise to the top at once. There is one reason why the fear surrounding Heartland season 20 feels so real right now. It is because for the first time in a very long time, fans are beginning to notice something changing underneath the surface of the show itself. Not in a loud, dramatic way, not with explosions or shocking betrayals, but in the quiet, emotional way that Heartland has always told its biggest stories. The kind of change that slowly creeps in until suddenly everyone realizes nothing will ever feel the same again. And when you look closely at where every major character is standing right now, it starts becoming impossible to ignore what the writers may truly be building toward. Take Grandpa Jack, for example. For 19 seasons, Jack Bartlett has been the foundation holding Heartland together. No matter how difficult things became, no matter how much pain the family faced, Jack always stood there like the ranch itself, strong, steady, unbreakable. But season 19 quietly showed something fans were not ready to see. Jack is getting older. The weight of running the ranch is becoming harder to carry. The stress of financial problems, family pressure, and protecting Heartland's future is starting to wear him down in ways that cannot simply be ignored anymore. And season 20 may finally force Jack to face the one thing he has spent his entire life avoiding: the possibility that someday the ranch may no longer belong in his hands. That emotional conflict could become one of the deepest storylines the show has ever explored, because Jack is not just protecting property, he is protecting legacy. Every fence, every stable, every inch of that land carries memories of the people who built Heartland long before Amy or Lou were even born. Letting go of control would feel like letting go of a part of himself. But at the same time, the younger generation is changing. Amy is growing into a stronger leader every season. Lou has become more determined than ever to keep the family business alive. And even Lindy is slowly beginning to understand what Heartland truly means to her family. Season 20 could become the story of a family preparing for a new era, whether they are emotionally ready for it or not. And then there is Tim Fleming, the man who somehow always manages to create chaos while still remaining impossible not to love. But beneath Tim's humor and stubborn personality, there has always been a deeper emotional layer that many fans overlook. Tim is terrified of losing the people he loves. That fear has shaped almost every decision he has made throughout the series. In season 20, that fear may become even stronger because for the first time, Tim may begin realizing that his family is changing faster than he can stop it. Amy is building a future that may not need him the same way anymore. Lou is becoming more independent than ever. And the ranch that once kept everyone together feels more fragile than it has in years. What makes Heartland so powerful is that it understands how painful change can be, even when change is necessary. That emotional truth is exactly why fans connect so deeply with this show. The characters do not feel perfect. They feel human. They make mistakes. They hold on to the past too tightly. They struggle to move forward even when life demands it. And season 20 feels like the moment where every character may finally be forced to confront the future head-on. At the center of all this emotional tension is Amy Fleming herself. Because while fans are focused on her answer to Nathan's proposal, there may be an even bigger emotional battle happening inside her heart. Amy has spent years trying to balance who she used to be with, who she is becoming now. Ty's death changed her forever. Even after all this time, part of her still carries that grief quietly every single day. Nathan brought warmth back into her life, but loving someone again does not erase pain. Sometimes it makes the pain even more complicated. Season 20 could explore Amy in a way fans have never fully seen before. not just as a mother or horse trainer, but as a woman trying to decide what kind of future she truly wants. Does she stay tied to the memory of the life she lost with Ty, or does she finally allow herself to build something completely new? That emotional struggle has the potential to become one of the strongest storylines in Heartland history because there is no easy answer. Fans themselves are divided. Some viewers desperately want Amy to move forward with Nathan. Others still believe Ty was the love of her life and cannot imagine anyone truly replacing him. That emotional division inside the fan community is exactly why Season 20 already feels so intense before a single episode has aired. But there may be another shocking twist waiting underneath all of this emotional storytelling. Rumors inside the Heartland fan world suggest the writers could be preparing for a major farewell storyline connected to one of the original characters. Nobody knows exactly who. Nobody knows exactly how. But longtime viewers have started noticing how heavily recent seasons have focused on legacy, endings, and the next generation stepping forward. Those themes are not appearing by accident. They feel intentional. They feel like preparation. If Season 20, Komasi, truly becomes the final chapter, then fans should expect emotional moments unlike anything the show has ever delivered before. Old memories could return. Relationships could be tested in painful ways. Characters may finally say things they have been holding inside for years. And perhaps most emotional of all, the family may finally have to decide what Heartland Ranch actually means in a future where nothing can stay the same forever. That possibility is exactly why fans are already feeling emotional online. Across social media, viewers are sharing memories of watching Heartland with parents, grandparents, children, and loved ones over the years. For many people, this show became part of their real lives. It became comfort during difficult times. It became tradition. And the thought of approaching the end of that journey feels genuinely heartbreaking for longtime fans who have stayed loyal to the series for nearly 20 years. But maybe that is exactly what makes Heartland special. The show never promised that life would stay frozen forever. It only promised that family, love, and hope would survive even when life changes around them. And Season 20 may finally put that message to the ultimate test. Right now, there is a feeling spreading across the entire Heartland fan community that something unforgettable is coming. Not just another emotional season, not just another chapter in the Fleming family story. Something bigger. Something that could completely redefine how fans remember this series forever. Because the closer Season 20 gets, the more it feels like the writers are preparing to bring every major storyline, every painful memory, and every emotional journey together into one final, powerful ride. And if that is true, then Heartland Season 20 may become the most emotional season the show has ever created. One of the biggest reasons fans are so nervous is because Heartland has reached a point very few television dramas ever survive long enough to see. 20 seasons is not normal. It is history. It is the kind of milestone where creators start thinking carefully about legacy, about endings, about how they want audiences to remember these characters after the story is finally over. And that is exactly why every rumor surrounding Season 20 but feels heavier than usual. Because this time, fans are not just wondering what happens next. They are wondering how much time is truly left. And honestly, the signs are everywhere. Recent seasons have focused more and more on themes of moving forward, passing things down, and preparing for the future. Lindy is growing older with every season. Amy is slowly becoming the emotional leader of the family in the same way Jack once carried that responsibility himself. Georgie is standing at the edge of adulthood, trying to figure out who she is outside the world of competition. Even Lou has started looking at Heartland differently, realizing that saving the ranch sometimes means accepting change instead of fighting it. These storylines do not feel random anymore. They feel connected. They feel like puzzle pieces slowly forming one final picture. But if there is one thing that could truly shock fans in Season 20, it may not be a death or a dramatic twist. It may be something far more emotional than that. Closure. Real closure. Because Heartland has always been a story about healing. From the very first episode, the show has followed people trying to survive pain while still finding reasons to keep loving the world around them. Amy healed broken horses while quietly healing herself. Jack carried grief while protecting his family. Lou chased dreams while fighting fear of failure. Every character on this show has been searching for peace in one way or another. And season 20 could finally bring some of those emotional journeys full circle. That is especially true for Amy Fleming. If season 20 really becomes the final chapter, then Amy's story may end with the biggest emotional decision of her entire life. Fans keep focusing on whether she says yes or no to Nathan's proposal, but the deeper question is much bigger than marriage. The real question is whether Amy is finally ready to fully live again. For years, she survived. She pushed forward because she had to. She stayed strong because her family needed her. But there is a difference between surviving and truly allowing yourself to be happy again. Nathan may represent that final step forward for her, not replacing Ty, never replacing him, but proving that love can still exist after devastating loss. And if Amy does choose a future with Nathan, it could become one of the most emotional moments Heartland has ever given fans, because viewers have lived through every stage of her pain alongside her. They cried when Ty died. They watched Amy struggle through loneliness and grief. They watched her slowly rebuild her life piece by piece. Seeing her finally choose happiness again would feel like the completion of a journey that started many seasons ago. But Heartland has never been a show that gives easy happiness without sacrifice. That is why many fans believe season 20 will also bring heartbreaking moments that nobody sees coming. The ranch's financial problems are still hanging over the family like a storm cloud waiting to break. Jack's age continues becoming impossible to ignore. Georgie may be forced to face the reality of losing Phoenix as a competition partner. And there is always the possibility that one major goodbye could change the emotional balance of the entire show forever. What makes all of this even more powerful is the fact that the cast themselves seem deeply emotional whenever they talk about the future of Heartland. Interviews, social media posts, and behind-the-scenes messages have carried a very reflective tone lately. The actors know what this series means to people. They understand that Heartland became more than entertainment a long time ago. For millions of fans around the world, this show became comfort, stability, home. And when something becomes part of people's lives for nearly 20 years, saying goodbye becomes incredibly difficult. That emotional connection is why season 20 already feels different before fans have even seen a trailer. There is excitement, yes, huge excitement, but underneath it is fear. Fear that this beautiful story may finally be approaching its ending. Fear that one day viewers will hear the final Heartland theme music play for the last time. And maybe that fear is exactly why this upcoming season matters so much. Because people are realizing how deeply these characters became part of their lives. Still, if Heartland does decide to end with season 20, there may actually be something beautiful about that choice. Very few long-running shows get the chance to finish on their own terms. Most disappear suddenly. Most never get the ending they deserve. But Heartland has the rare opportunity to close its story with dignity, emotion, and purpose if the writers choose to do so. They can give Amy, Jack, Lou, Tim, Georgie, and the entire family the kind of farewell fans will carry with them forever. And maybe that is why season 20 feels so emotional already. Because deep down, fans understand that no matter what happens next, this season is going to matter. Every conversation will matter. Every family dinner will matter. Every quiet sunrise over Heartland Ranch will matter. Whether this becomes the beginning of a new chapter or the final goodbye, one thing is absolutely certain. Heartland Season 20 is about to take fans on an emotional journey they will never forget. So now, the countdown begins. The rumors are growing louder. The questions are getting bigger. And somewhere out there, millions of fans are waiting nervously to see what happens next at Heartland Ranch. But one thing is clear already. When season 20 finally arrives, nobody is going to be ready for the emotions that come with it.